Welcome to Botches Off-Road. Join us as we talk about everything from gear reviews to trail stories, tent camping to rock landing, and all things to do with the outdoors.
Hey guys, Alex here. Do a quick rig walk around on my 98 Toyota 4Runner. Had this old girl for about 2 years and done a lot to it. I figured it's about time that we sat down and actually talked about what all's done to it. I know on the podcast you hear us all the time. You hear everything we say and you know roughly what our rigs are, but it's the first time I've actually sat down to show you exactly what I've got going on. So bear with me. My video skills are a lot worse than my audio skills, but we'll get there. We'll get there as we go. So up front here, I've got a Northwest Trail Innovations front bumper. This is not my first choice in a bumper. I got this for $200, and with this being a budget junkyard build, if you would call it, cheap was king. I don't like how wide it is. It's wide from the front of the car. I like something that's a little closer and tucked up and pulls the winch in a little farther. But overall, I mean, it's been fine. I hit this front hitch upgrade the previous owner did into ship pretty often, but I plan on cutting that off and plating over. It just is what it is at this point. Like I said, budget build, really can't complain too much. This is a X-Bull 10K winch. I paid like $250 for this, and it was phenomenal. Great winch, always worked for me. Did a great job until it didn't. This actually just quit working on me recently. That's why you see the link is connected down like this. It doesn't reel back in. I did reach out to X-Bull and they sent me a replacement control box, and I haven't had time to put it in yet. I guess I could be doing that right now instead of making this video, but you know that it is what it is. So eventually I'll put that on. If it fixes it, great. If not, I'm sure they'll replace it. They seem to be a great company to work with. I've got a Nylite, I don't know if this is 8-inch, 10-inch, whatever, a Nylite light bar. It's been fine. It's been on here pretty much since the day I put the bumper on, so a year and a half. It's got quite a bit of moisture inside it at this point, but it still turns on. Sometimes not very bright, and then you hit a bump and it brightens up, but hey, it works. That's what matters. Headlights off of a 01 4Runner. They're clear. I haven't done any mods to them or anything. Factory grill painted black, and this is a Revis GMRS antenna. It's great. I've got no complaints. Decent range, takes some abuse. It lost its top cap there, but she keeps chugging. These are Meoli D-shackles. I'm probably going to be getting away from these as soon as I remember to take them off. Not that there's anything wrong with them. I'm just kind of over having to have another D-ring connected to a D-ring to do any tugging, or a synthetic strap, or whatever you want to put there. But they're strong. I've done lots and lots of pulls off these, both putting my truck out of puddles or putting someone else's truck out of puddles, or just lots of tugs. They handle a lot of frickin' abuse. Then coming back here a little bit, these are some cheap Amazon ditch light. They're amber or yellow. They're actually yellow. They're pretty great. I don't really have any issues with them. They work solid every time I need them to work. These were aux beam fog lights down here. They quit working about 2 months in. That one fell right out of the truck. I just got to rip them out, get something else to put down here, and just haven't done it yet. Down below here, we've got the Rocky T4R long travel kit. I've got some custom bushings in there made out of some 83 I believe Chevy GM rear shackle bushings. It all works great. Down below we've got white line bushings, ADS shocks in the front, wrapped or coming out here back a little bit. This is the wrong tire to be showing you. We got some Vision wheels. They're gunmetal everywhere except for this particular wheel. The spare was brushed and the rest are gunmetal, and I had to run a spare. So right now we're a little mismatched, but it is what it is. But yeah, they're great. They work. They're wrapped around them are some BF Goodrich TAs. I normally run relation race wheels with whatever other tires, but these are some donors, so that's what we're going to roll with. Even further down below, we've got an old Savage skid plate, which you can't really see the Savage part. There it is, an old Savage skid plate. It's great. I've got no complaints with the Savage at all whatsoever. Coming down the side here, I've got some custom rock sliders that tuck inside the door there. And I've had some pretty good drops on them. Actually, to install these, we cut out the bottom of my rocker panels that were rusted. Ignore the burn spot there. We may have caught her on fire. But they're nice. They're tucked. They're out of the way. I mean, they even tuck behind the plastics. They just look good. They work good. Moving back here to the back, I've got some icons with remote resis, some custom links, Heim joints all around. I have a hatred for bushings. They tend to go bad on me. So pretty much everything on this truck is either Heim joints, uniballs, or some variation. Coming back up here to the front, that is the snorkel that came on the truck when I bought it. I have no idea what it is. I think it's a Hilux snorkel. It's one of the more attractive ones I've seen, but snorkels aren't really my thing. There's just holes cut in the bumper and the fender, so I got to run them, I guess. This is a Amazon pre-filter. It ruins throttle response a little bit, but not too bad. It's slow, but it is what it is. So coming into the cockpit area here, we've got a true carbon fiber steering wheel. I cannot remember the brand, but it's true carbon fiber with gold fleck. The plans for this were not executed the way I wanted. I planned on leather wrapping the outside and having the gold fleck kind of tie into the tan a little bit. It didn't work, but the size is great. This is a 13-inch steering wheel instead of the, I think it's 15 inches that comes standard on the 4Runner. Problem with the 15-inch steering wheel is it's hard for my fat ass to climb in and out of the seat here. Up here on the left, we've got my Zune. This is how I prefer to play music. Obviously, phones nowadays have far outpaced what you can do with these old media players, but this thing's great. For off-grid music playing, you really can't beat a designated music device. Here on the dash, I've got a Garmin Smart Drive 65, I believe. Great GPS. I put it down here because my speedometer actually does not work because I do not have ABS sensors. But it's been fine. It does everything I ask it to. Moving a little farther across the dash here, this is a Samsung A7 Tab Lite. These are great because they're $50. It's good enough to run Onyx. I run Meshtastic through this. I run Onyx and I run ATAC. It does the job. It's a little slow, not my favorite. Over here, almost onto the passenger side here, is a Midland 275, I believe. Whatever. It's a Midland handheld. It works good. It does everything I ask it to. Includes loading. Apparently, it'll give us the weather update for the day. I actually have my radio all the way in the back of the truck. I have a Cat 5 cable ran to the front that this mic plugs into. It just gives me the ability to kind of tuck the radio out of the way and not have to deal with it as much. Coming over here to the back of the rig, this is where most of the money goes into the truck. I mean, aside from suspension upgrades and maintenance, stuff like that. We've got a thin pack out. This is where I store my sockets. They're not the pack out socket set currently. They're sockets, and I'll have a few different thin pack outs in the half variation to accompany that. It's just nice being able to just grab a small pack and grab it and go. If you've never seen pack outs before, there's a little button right here. They slide out. So this is my daily driver configuration for my car. I don't generally carry all my camping gear with me because I tend to use this for work. I manage a farm, so being able to fix stuff on the fly is pretty great. In here I keep things like I've got a drill, heat gun, I've got some spare bolts, stuff like that. Coming down into the drawer here, this is really just kind of a catch basin. I've got some spare whatever those types of pouches are that I've got up there on the wall. Some spare heim joints, just lots of odds and ends, a tape measure, stuff like that. That's all in this drawer here. Going down a step below that, this is where my tools are stored. So I've got a roll of wrenches, some impact wobble sockets, some WD-40, impact wrench, grinder. I mean, just stuff that's handy to have either around the farm or if the car breaks on the side of the road. I also keep a torque wrench in here basically all the time, and my Bauer inflator. This isn't a Milwaukee inflator. It's not as fast. It's better on battery, I've noticed. And the big thing is it also works with 12 volt. It's fine for what it is. It's not the greatest inflator in the world, but it's cheap and it works. In the back here, I actually have a Milwaukee vacuum, pack out vacuum. I've actually converted this to work on Bauer, which is really nice because I don't have any Milwaukee tools. Lots of pack outs, no power tools. So I've got that working on Bauer. Below that is actually the truck's main battery. I've relocated that to the back. The original plan was to tub the truck, and I figured getting the battery out of there would allow for easier tub. Since then, I've come up with lots of cool stuff that having the battery moved does, like quickly can pull the battery out. I'm actually working on an expanded battery, not a house battery. I'm looking at adding a second battery for the truck to allow, so that if like an alternator dies, I have longer run time. I can swap it onto other people. Yes, that is my walk around for my 98 Toyota 4Runner in daily driver configuration. Someday when I have camp set up and I got the tent on the roof and all that shit, I'll get pictures of it. And I probably should do a camp walk around as well, but this is how she is a good probably 85% of the time. It's been a great car. We've put, I don't even know, the speedometer quit work, or the odometer quit working at like 268,000 miles or something like that, and I bought it with 240,000, so that's 30,000 miles there. I don't even know how many miles are on this thing anymore. Probably closer to the 300,000 mark. I've got some big plans for this, some big upgrades coming. I'm going to put a 5-speed in it and a supercharger, so things will be changing, but this is how she sits currently.